Good afternoon. Oh, I love it. First time I get a whole response. That doesn't happen too much other than in my son's first grade class. My name is Raven Devon, and it is my absolute honor to serve as director of the Illinois Department of Central Management Services. When your boss starts off the clap, it's a good day. We're the operational engine powering the state of Illinois. Before I get started, I'd like to acknowledge elected officials who are in the crowd. I believe we have Mariana Spiropoulos, and I believe President Preckwinkle just left. And if there are any others, we certainly thank you for joining us today. It's a privilege to stand with you on this momentous occasion, as we officially name the iconic building in the heart of Chicago's financial district, the Jesse White State of Illinois Building. This is more than a name change. This is a celebration of legacy, one built over 6 decades of unwavering dedication to public service, and one that will now live on quite literally in the epicenter of state operations in Chicago. From this day forward, every person who walks through the doors we all walk through today, whether they are a public servant reporting to work or a fellow Illinoisan needing services, they each will be reminded of what Jesse White stands for: integrity, equity, and service to others. Mr. White's story is the story of Illinois at its best. A young man from Alton who rose to become the longest serving Secretary of State in our state's history. A trailblazer who didn't just hold office, he transformed it. From modernizing the DMV to pioneering organ donation reform, he left every system better than he found it. And as a public servant, that is your goal every single day. And just as importantly, he never lost sight of the people those systems were meant to serve. A lifelong educator who dedicated 3 decades to our children with Chicago Public Schools, and perhaps his most transformative vision, the creation of the Jesse White Tumblers. Mr. White truly represents the best Illinois has to offer. At CMS, we are responsible for managing the key administrative functions for the state. We manage state HR functions, procurement functions, fleet management, and of course, we manage our state buildings. But more importantly, we care for the places where the work of government gets done. The Jesse White State of Illinois building is home to over 15 state agencies, constitutionals, 2 constitutionals, and nearly 2,300 fellow public servants. This is where policy meets practice. This is where services reach the people of Illinois. This place is representative of what Mr. White's life has meant to us here in our great state. That's why the renaming means so much. Jesse White's name belongs on a building like this, where progress, equity, and service intersect, because that's what he embodies every single day. As a small point of personal privilege, as a proud native of the South Side of Chicago and the daughter of 2 lifelong public servants, today is especially significant to me. The year was 1993, and I had the great fortune of winning a national writing competition, which caused my parents and I to be in City Hall to meet the mayor. As we enter, we see this well-dressed man with a kind smile. My mother speaks and says, "Hello, Rep. White." She then corrects herself as he was no longer a sitting representative. Apparently, their paths had crossed previously as colleagues at CPS, so my mother eventually just settled on his first name. But all I heard was Jesse White. My family and I were annual attendees to the Bud, so Jesse White at that age meant one thing: tumbling. I allowed the adults to finish their pleasantries, and then I interrupted. I said, "Excuse me, can you teach me how to do a cartwheel? I can kind of do one, but my brother said it's really bad." And with that signature smile, Mr. White told me I would learn if I showed up at a class happening Saturday. A short exchange over 30 years ago still resonates with me as a standing testament to a life dedicated to others. Mr. White, no fault of yours. My cartwheel still is really bad. These 2025 joints ain't like the 1993 joints, but that's a different conversation. To Mr. White, thank you for your tireless service, your leadership, and your example. May this building serve as a tribute to your life's work and a daily reminder to us all for the standard you have set. To Senator Willie Preston and Chair of the Illinois Senate Black Caucus and Representative Harry Benton, thank you for sponsoring the legislation to rename this building after Jesse White. To Governor Pritzker and Lieutenant Governor Stratton, thank you for leading an administration that protects, respects, and supports the honorable profession of public service in the tone and tenor of our guest of honor today. Thank you. And to the people of Illinois, the Jesse White State of Illinois building is yours, a place that stands not only for good government, but for the values that make good government work for you: fairness, transparency, and care for every resident. Thank you, and it is now my honor to introduce our wonderful, amazing Speaker of the House, the Honorable Emanuel Chris Welch. Thank you.
Thank you, Director. Good afternoon, everyone. It really fills my heart to stand before you today to honor one of Illinois' greatest sons. You know, I think they're going to talk about Abraham Lincoln and Jesse White in the same sentence for years to come. You know, Jesse White is a leader whose commitment to service led him from the State House to the Cook County Recorder of Deeds office to becoming a legendary 6-term Secretary of State. An Illinois icon who leapt from planes as a paratrooper in the 101st Airborne and the Illinois National Guard, who taught in Chicago public schools, and listen to this, he hit 291 in the Cubs farm system. That's proof that he was pretty good at finite games. The founder of the iconic tumbling team that touched the lives of tens of thousands of young people while entertaining millions of people every year. We could spend another 91 years talking about the impact Jesse White has had on our state. So today, we honor the legendary Mr. White by placing his name on the office he worked to strengthen, to reform, and to modernize. Because if there's one thing Jesse White's remarkable career has taught us, it's also to play an infinite game. He has proven that he was excellent at playing an infinite game. Everyone who serves in this building or walks the halls of Springfield does so knowing that our time is limited, but the work we do every day is infinite. Someone will serve in these roles after us, and the goal is to leave something better. I can tell you we stand here today knowing that Mr. White left us all something better when he left office. So it's only right that today we celebrate Jesse White's work and legacy and honor him alongside Illinois' greatest leaders. This building will not only serve as a tribute to his work, but a reminder of the work that is all that is left to do, and we're gonna do it in the way he did it. Mr. Secretary, for 45 years, you showed us the way. You played the infinite game, and we'll walk forward in the path you forged. And for me personally, I will be forever grateful that in your last term as Secretary of State, you oversaw the inauguration of the first Black Speaker of the House. It is a tremendous honor to be here for this day. I'm thankful to Representative Harry Benton, who led the effort in the House to make this day happen. And I'd like to ask Harry to come up and say a few words. Thank you all.
First of all, First of all, I want to start off by thanking everybody for being here. This is a testament to the legacy of Secretary White. When I decided to start this resolution, I started reaching out to some family and friends and trying to figure out what we can do and what building and how we can honor him. And it was very apparent that everybody loved Jesse White. From Chicago to Cairo, from Plainfield to Palatine. I had help from the Illinois State Police, CMS, current SOS staff, everybody that loved Jesse White, to try to make sure that this was something that came to light. So I appreciate everybody for being here, because this is a man, he is a public servant's public servant. You're hard-pressed to go around the state and find somebody that Jesse White hasn't touched personally. I represent Shorewood, and our chief of police actually was a tumbler. So we talk about that all the time, and 18,500 kids have gone through that tumbling program, changing the direction of their life. He's loved by law enforcement. He's loved by just about everybody I've talked to. He is the most bipartisan person that you can think of in the state of Illinois, who is just beloved everywhere he goes. I knock doors, I hear about Jesse White. Everybody loves Jesse White. And when we were coming up with this, there were so many people that were helping out. And I just want to make sure that Bob Yeager and Henry get a lot of credit, because they were so influential on trying to help out. Speaker Welch was like, let's run with this. This is my favorite elected official. So let's keep on going and make sure that this happens. Nadine O'Leary. Nadine O'Leary worked in SOS for 13 years and was the executive director of the Organ and Tissue Donation Department, which should definitely be mentioned, because the amount of lives that were saved by Jesse White and his staff through that program is absolutely amazing. Absolutely. So thank you for all the lives that you touched and all the lives that you saved, and your legacy is going to live on. A living legend, Jesse White. Thank you. And now I want to bring up the new legacy of the Secretary of State, Alexi Giannoulias.
Good afternoon. It's great to see you all. You have a lot of speakers. I'm going to try and be very brief. It's my honor to call Jesse White my friend. I don't want to talk about politics today or the work he did as Secretary of State. What I want to talk about when I think of Jesse White is very simple. What it means to be a very, very good human being. Someone who is decent, someone who has spent his whole life exhibiting empathy and kindness and helping others. He's always trying to find a way to help someone who's having a tough day or is dealing with challenging times. That's why he started the Jesse White Tumblers and helped over 18,000 kids. That's why he gives hope to people across the country. And I'll tell you a story. When I became state treasurer in 2006, I was state treasurer, he was Secretary of State. He came and saw me and said, whatever I can do to be helpful to you. I was new to politics, I didn't know anyone. I was a 30-year-old kid with no organization. And he said, I'm here to help you, whatever you need. My door is always open. He was always there to give me good advice, to help me, to put his arm around me. If I went to a parade and I had no one there, he would tell me, come march with me. What can I do for you? Always, was always kind to me. This was 19 years ago. And nothing has changed. So as we think about the world we live in, the political temperature and the vitriol and the anger and the hatred and the negativity, let's celebrate today and every day, and let's remind our elected officials and everyone why it's so important just to be good people, to be kind-hearted, to be decent, and to help everyone. When I asked Jesse White after I got elected to this office, to give me one really good piece of advice. He gave me the same piece of advice he gave me back in 2006. He said, Alexi, every single day, do something nice for someone. Every single day. And he taught me that same advice for over 20 years. And Mr. Secretary, I'm proud to call you my friend. I'm proud to take your advice and try and do something nice for someone every single day. Glenna, I love you and the entire family. Thank you for your service to the people of Illinois. Thank you for being a great friend to me. And more importantly, thank you for being a guiding light of what it means to be a great, exceptionally well-loved and kind human beings. As they say in my neighborhood, you the man. And it is my pleasure to introduce my great friend, someone who I love dearly, Ms. Glenna White.
Thank you. Some of these people that are seated here, we have known before we were in the office of the Secretary of State. And so there's a lot of love in here today. There's a lot of love in this room also. So I had a few speeches picked out, but I'm going to tell this one. Good afternoon, Governor Pritzker, Lieutenant Governor Stratton, elected officials, family, and friends. I'm here speaking on behalf of my father's families, those of us who are actual blood relatives, and those who have served with him in public office. My father was born in Alton, Illinois, but was raised on the north side of Chicago in a predominantly Italian neighborhood. From his neighbors, he learned the term La Familia, which means family. It is a term that he uses often. Throughout his lifetime, he has formed many families, such as the U.S. Army's 101st Airborne Division, the Chicago Cubs, Alabama, he's an Alabama State alumni, Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity, the Chicago Public Schools, the Illinois General Assembly, Cook County Recorder of Deeds, Illinois Secretary of State, the Jesse White Tumbling Team, and the Jesse White Foundation. To my father, family could be a new legislator that needs mentoring. He could be a new tumbler who wants to make the team and make his family proud. Or he could be a high school graduate receiving a new laptop as he goes off to college. His family in the Secretary of State's office fulfilled his very personal agenda and helped him change that office forever. As some of the speakers up here spoke about him streamlining and the office and all of the accomplishments that he did with the organ and tissue donor program, that program was very personal to my father. His sister, his brother died many years ago, and he needed an organ. And not knowing anything at the time, he said, no, don't take his organs. And so years later, maybe about 10 years later, his sister needed an organ. And so he then understood and he realized the importance of organ donation. And so with that, he made it a national model by growing the Illinois registry to nearly 7.5 million Illinoisans by the end of his final term in 2023 and saving countless lives. There are so many things that he has accomplished in his lifetime. I'm so proud of him as my father, and to this day, people from all walks of life across Illinois continue to thank him for his service. Ordinary citizens, state employees, organ recipients, and donor families regularly reach out to express their gratitude for his leadership. We thank you for those that have been instrumental in honoring him in such a profound way today. This is not anything that he asked for, nor anything that he aspired to, but for sure, he is worthy of such an honor. Thank you to all of you that have come here to witness this great event today. People used to ask me years ago what it was like to share him with so many people over the years, because he spent so much time with the tumbling team, with politicians. He'd be out teaching, advocating, and helping as many people as he could on any given day. And anyone that has been around him for any period of time knows that he is going to do all that he can to help you to achieve your goal. He always felt that if God put you in a position to help someone, then please do all that you can to make the difference in their life. For us that are here today as part of his immediate family, we have watched and learned that in sharing him with so many others, we too have gained more family along the way, and that is evidenced by all of you that are here today. Thank you so much. Now I'd like to introduce our great Alderman, Walter Burnett.
Good morning or good afternoon, everyone. For the next 5 days, I will still be Vice Mayor and Alderman Walter Burnett. So today, as Vice Mayor, I still have a duty. So I have a proclamation here from the Mayor, whereas former Illinois Secretary of State Jesse White has dedicated his life to public service, leaving an indelible mark on the state of Illinois and its residents through his vision, leadership, and commitment to excellence. Whereas Jesse White served as Illinois Secretary of State from 1999 to 2023, becoming the longest serving and first African American to hold the office, where he was widely recognized for implementing transformative advancements in technology and customer service to enhance efficiency and accessibility for all Illinoisans. And whereas throughout his remarkable career, Jesse White has exemplified the highest idea of integrity, dedication, public stewardship, setting a standard of service that has uplifted countless individuals and strengthened communities across Illinois. And whereas beyond his official duties, Jesse White is the founder of the internationally renowned Jesse White Tumbling Team, which has empowered and inspired young people since its inception in 1959, installing values of discipline, perseverance, and community engagement. And whereas, in recognition of his exceptional public service and enduring contribution, State Senator Willie Preston, Democrat Chicago, and State Representative Henry Benton, Democrat Plainfield, announced the designation of the State of Illinois building located at 115 South LaSalle Street in Chicago as the Jesse White State of Illinois Building. Ensuring that his legacy will continue to inspire future generations of public servants. And whereas the renaming of this building stands as a testament to Jesse White's lifelong commitment to improving the lives of Illinois' residents and serves as a permanent reminder of the impact one individual can have through dedicated service to others. Now, therefore, I, Brandon Johnson, not me, Mayor of the City of Chicago, not me, do hereby recognize the official dedication of the Jesse White State of Illinois building and join the people of Illinois in honoring the extraordinary life, service, and contribution of Jesse White, dated this 24th day of July 2025, Mayor Brandon Johnson. So that was my duty right there. So this is me. So first of all, I want to thank all of the elected officials that are here, state, county, city. I see some of my colleagues that are here, some of the aldermen that are here, for being here. I especially want to thank the governor. A lot of folks don't know the governor and his family have been supporting the Jesse White Foundation and the Jesse White Tumbling Team for decades. Decades. So, Governor, as I was telling you earlier, I don't forget. Okay. So anyway, also, you know, the unique thing about this building being named after Jesse White and Alexi Janulius being the Secretary of State, Jesse White's first Secretary of State's campaign was started in Alexis Janulius family bank building in Greektown. So that's the irony of that. So we want to thank the Janulius family for all their commitments, for being with us, being part of our family for many years. It is an extraordinary honor to stand here with you today as we gather to dedicate this building in the name of a man whose legacy has lifted countless lives, the Honorable Jesse White. For over 6 decades, Jesse White has served this city, this state, and this nation with unmatched energy, humility, and commitment. He's worn many hats: educator, athlete, soldier, public servant, but perhaps the most enduring role he has played in that of a mentor, especially for me. I wrote this so I wouldn't get emotional, y'all. So many know Jesse White as Illinois' longest serving Secretary of State, a man who brought integrity, efficiency, and modernization to one of the largest Secretary of State offices in the country. Under his leadership, the state organ donor program expanded dramatically. He cracked down on fraudulent licenses, improved road safety, and brought much-needed reform to our driver services. But Jesse White's impact goes beyond the halls of government. Over 60 years ago, he founded the Jesse White Tumbling Team, not just a performance group, but a lifeline. It was built to give young people, particularly in underserved communities, a positive alternative to gangs and drugs. Through discipline, performance, and mentorship, he helped guide more than 18,000 young men and women toward brighter futures. And he never accepted a penny for it. That's who Jesse White is, a man who leads not for praise, but for purpose. A man who saw potential in others even when they couldn't see it in themselves. So today, as we place his name on this building, we are not just honoring his achievement, we're honoring his spirit. This building will now stand as a symbol of service, perseverance, and compassion. Let every young person who walks through these doors be reminded that no matter where you start, greatness is within reach if you're willing to walk for it, to work for it. And if you have someone who believes in you. Mr. White, thank you for believing in us in Chicago, in Illinois, and in every child who needed a second chance. May this building forever echo your legacy. Thank you. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
No. Ladies and gentlemen, the first African-American lieutenant governor in the state of Illinois, Ms. Juliana Stratton.
Thank you, Vice Mayor, for that kind introduction, but also for those heartfelt words. They were really beautiful. And congratulations, Secretary Jesse White, on this incredible honor. You have been such a wonderful friend and mentor to me from the very beginning of my career in public service, and I am so thrilled to be here with you for this momentous occasion. Thank you to everyone, Governor Pritzker, my fellow elected officials, our legislative sponsors, Senator Willie Preston and Representative Harry Benton, and all of today's speakers, and of course, Mr. Jesse White himself and his loving family. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you all for coming together to celebrate a lifetime of public service. I want to echo Secretary White's heart through his own words. He once said, "We are in this world together. Only by treating each other with respect and human dignity will we make it a better place." We've heard so much about the way your hands reshaped the Illinois that we recognize today, how your resilient spirit and unwavering commitment to our people stayed true throughout decades of impactful work. Mr. Secretary, you have historically prioritized unity over division and strength through compassion, even when others did not extend the same grace to you. Your legacy deserves recognition because you continue to use every moment, every breath, to exemplify the best parts of Illinois' character, and we are all better for it. Secretary White, it is a gift to watch you take care of others. You have been a blessing to me and to everyone who has ever been in your presence. And I look forward to sharing a world with the leaders who learned from your example. I would not be the leader that I am today. I would not be the person that I am today without Secretary Jesse White. And when I look around this room and see standing room only, I know that so many of you, all of you, can say the very same thing. I love you. Thank you for your service, and congratulations on the brand new Jesse White State of Illinois building. Thank you. And with that, it is now my distinct honor to bring forth the leader of our great state. And more importantly today, a friend of Jesse White for 36 years, our governor, Governor JB Pritzker.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. We can do better than that. Good afternoon. I am so proud to be here to honor our friend, Secretary Jesse White, a giant of Illinois government, a principled public servant, a fundamentally good and decent man, and a dear friend. There is perhaps no greater testament to the impact that Secretary White's service has had than the group that is assembled here today. You've heard from so many leaders, but there are many of you who are also leaders and who offer your support for someone that we've known for so many years as fundamental to the functioning of good government. And I am very proud to be here to honor his legacy with you. He has had such an amazing and powerful positive impact on all of our lives, and on mine especially. He has been not only a mentor and a guide, but an inspiration. His oft-heard motto, "Do something good for someone every day," as Secretary Giannoulias said, is a creed that I think many of you have heard before from him, but we should all strive to live by it every single day and remember him as we do it. In the work that he did in public service, it reminds us what we can achieve in our lifetimes. Perhaps we can attain somewhere close to the achievements of Jesse White. His work to crack down on drunk driving and promote teen driver safety has prevented countless accidents and fatalities. His work to streamline the Secretary of State's office has opened up more civic and economic opportunity for our people. His advocacy for organ donation has saved thousands of lives. Most importantly, he championed good and honest government at a time when the state needed it most, putting us on a path to real progress. He is and always has been a statesman, one of our greatest statesmen. For many, he restored our faith in government, and he provided a beacon of light in a sometimes too often gloomy world. But even if he had never stepped foot in a government office, Jesse White's record would be near impossible to match. His dedication to lifting up our youth and giving hope and inspiration to parents and families stretches back 2 generations. As a veteran of the U.S. Army's 101st Airborne Division and a former member of the Illinois National Guard and Reserve, as a teacher and administrator for Chicago Public Schools, and of course, with the world-famous Jesse White tumblers that have transformed the lives of underserved youth in the Chicagoland area for over 60 years. I too asked Jesse White to teach me, where are you? To teach me how to tumble. The problem is I could only do it once, then it would be over. But he truly is somebody that I think all of us feel like we can have a personal conversation with and feel like he is our close friend, even if you just met him. That's how he comes off and expresses himself to people. It says everything about him that he retired from government and has spent nearly every single day continuing to do work on behalf of the people of this state. He has not skipped a beat in his quest to uplift yet another generation and empower our communities. Even now, no one can keep up with his pace. This building, one that will serve generations of Illinoisans and stand as a symbol of strong and effective government, will be named in his honor, and I cannot think of a more appropriate name than the Jesse White State of Illinois building, and I cannot think of a more appropriate representation of his immeasurable impact. I now have the distinct pleasure of introducing our honoree, which is a very, very hard thing to do. He needs no introduction. I'm gonna, before I officially bring him up and give him the microphone, I want to take this moment to present him with a proclamation. I will not read the proclamation to you because I think the mayor did a terrific job of going through his background. The one for the state of Illinois is just bigger and better than the one that you already heard. There is so much to say about this great man, but it's my pleasure to present him with a proclamation designating 115 South LaSalle Street as the new Jesse White State of Illinois building. Let's turn it around so we take a picture of you. Great. Yeah. Thank you. I just want to say that you have set a tremendous example for all of us to follow, not just as a public servant, but as a neighbor, as a mentor, as a friend. Kind. I want to repeat that. Kind, decent, honorable. Thank you for your service and congratulations.
Thank you very much. When I served in the military, they used to say, take your seats. Governor Pritzker, thank you for your many years of friendship, steadfast support and leadership, your courage, integrity, commitment to the people of the state of Illinois have set the standard for all of us in public service. Now more than ever, we need leaders like you, people willing to stand up for what is right, even when it's difficult. I remember you many, many years ago when I taught at the Shell Elementary School. You and your aunt, Cindy Pritzker, where she called me one day. I was in the gym with the kids, and the clerk said, "You have a phone call from a lady by the name of Cindy Pritzker." And so I said, "Well, after this class, I'll come and take the call." So I called her back, and she asked the question, "We're having a party at the Hyatt House at O'Hare, and we'd like to know if you have any kids who'd like to participate." I said, "Yes, I do." I said, "How many slots are available?" She said, "About 60. I said, "I'll take all 60. I said, "You can get me 60 kids?" I said, "I certainly can." And with the help of JB Pritzker and Cindy Pritzker, we went out to the Hyatt House. We got off the elevator and escalator, and we looked into the room. We saw a man juggling. We saw a man on stilts. And then we went further into the room, and they had every imaginable game devised by a man or woman. And then we went into another room where they had lunch, a feast. Most of my kids were public aid recipients. They were impressed by the spread. They were impressed by what they had seen early on. As for the 35 years I taught at the Shell Elementary School, I never had problems with kids getting out of trouble because they always wanted to be on the list to go to the Hyatt House to be with the Pritzkers. So JB in my neighborhood, they'd say, "You the man." And to Cindy Pritzker, God rest her soul, I want to thank her for her commitment to making this world a better place in which to live. I have said it before, and I will say it again, and that is you are the greatest Illinois governor that I've ever experienced. You have a giving and a caring spirit and a commitment to duty. And you want to make sure that the people of this wonderful state enjoy all that you have to offer in terms of good government. So thank you for giving, thank you for caring, and thank you for making a difference, sir. In my neighborhood, they say, "You the man." To the constitutional officers who are here today, I want to thank them for their partnership through the years. A special thanks to Alexi Giannoulis, Secretary of State. I want to thank you, sir, for not only taking on the job, but taking on the responsibility that goes with it, sir. You're a breath of fresh air. A special thanks to Representative Benton for initiating this resolution to name this building in my honor. And a special thanks to State Representative or State Senator Willie Preston, who is not here today, for taking the lead in the Senate. And to Speaker Welch, a good man, a person who I've come to admire and respect. I want to thank you, as well as President Harmon, for ensuring the passage of the legislation that was initiated in the House and in the Senate. Vice Mayor Walter Burnett, your leadership and dedication to the city has always inspired me. You continue to make me proud every single day, and I'm grateful for your friendship and for your leadership. To my daughter, Glenna White Jones, thank you for your hard work on a daily basis, and your tireless efforts, and your commitment to the Jesse White Tumbling team and the Jesse White Foundation. Watching you dedicate yourself to the same mission of service and opportunity fills me with pride. I want to acknowledge my family who are here today. My sister Cora, could you stand, Cora? Jesse White III, I did say in my neighborhood, you the man. Gabby Ivy. Tasha Ivy. Adrian Crawford. Dolores Halbert. Maisie Harris. We jokingly called her Dr. Bombay. To George White. Abel McMurray White. Francine Anderson. Harley Ivy. My granddaughter Susan, who is at Illinois State University. And of course, we want to let you know that I come from a large family. There were nine of us, 4 boys and 3 girls. And of the 4 boys, all 4 of us served in the military at the same time. I had a brother stationed at Great Lakes, one in Germany, one in Korea, and I was at Fort Campbell, Kentucky. And so my mother's only 4 boys were involved in the military. We love this country, and we'll do all we can to make it the kind of a place that all of us can enjoy and be proud of. And much of what we've been able to achieve in life, we owe to our parents. And I'm really sad about the fact that they're no longer here with us, but I just want them to know that we deeply appreciate them bringing us into this wonderful world of ours. And while I'm proud of the fact that I was a school teacher, coach and father of the Jesse White Tumbling team, lawmaker, Cook County Recorder of Deeds, Secretary of State, I want you to know that this could not have happened by itself. I want to publicly thank my staff for the unwavering commitment to serving the people of the state of Illinois by assisting me in discharging my duties in the offices that I held. Their dedication, professionalism, and compassion made our work possible. They were the backbone of our offices, and I am honored to have worked alongside of them. I am honored to have worked alongside each of you, and every success that I've achieved, we achieved together. Special thanks to my secretary, Linda Pitchley. Where's Linda? She was my secretary for 16 years when I served as a state lawmaker. And I had the great pleasure of serving for 24 years as the Secretary of State. And she was Madam Secretary, Supreme Commander, the rule of all she surveyed. And to Mr. Emmanuel McGee, where's Emmanuel McGee? Mr. McGee is my head coach of the Jesse White Tumbling team. This last 4th of July, we did 39 parades. And of course, I did 6 with my unit, displays, 2 shows at Arlington Heights, that's 3. Northbrook, Long Grove, and Mount Prospect. Those were the 6 shows that I participated with. The bottom line is this. We want to give young people an opportunity to live a long and productive life. We want to teach them to love their fellow man and woman and never ever dislike anyone because of race, creed, or color, and do something good for someone every day. That's what we inspire our young people to do and to be. And of course, we have a young lady by the name of Maggie Wood. Now, Maggie is in charge of the Jesse White Foundation. And Yvonne Jones, where's Yvonne? She's in charge of the Jesse White Tumbling team. at 412 West Chicago Avenue. And I'm here because so many people helped me to be where I am today. For example, my high school, college, and professional baseball coaches all taught me citizenship, brotherhood, discipline, teamwork, and perseverance. When someone says you cannot achieve, you say, watch me. Dr. Martin Luther King, who mentored me while I was at Alabama State. Former Mayor Eugene Sawyer and I lived in the same dormitory. And I decided I wanted to be a pledgee for the Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity. And so we were required to attend this church in the northern part of Montgomery. And there we met Dr. King. There were 16 scrollers and no parishioners. The next Sunday, there were 16 scrollers and 50 people. And then later on, the church was so crowded that people had to stand on the outside. And later on, Dr. King was promoted to the Dexter Avenue Baptist Church. And through his efforts, we were able to desegregate the Montgomery transit system. He used to give me $20 after every basketball game because I shot a jump shot from half court. And I did it on a regular basis. So that was legal then. I don't think it's legal now. And then, of course, I signed a contract to play baseball for the Cubs. And 4 days before going to spring training, I was drafted into the military. It was sent to Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, for basic training, Fort Campbell, Kentucky, for jump school. 35 jumps to my credit. You never worry about the jump. It's always a sudden stop if the chute doesn't open. Of course, later on in life, or early on in life, I became involved in the political arena thanks to George Dunn, the former president of Cook County Board. And of course, he got me involved with the political arena, and that was the beginning of my career. So God rest his soul. And of course, I'm grateful for him helping me to be where I am today. I do want to thank a few people who have helped me along the path. Mr. Bob Lozen, can you stand up, Bob, who is still with me for 40 years? Peter Birnbaum, chairman of the Foundation and Community Center. Mark Richmond, where's Mark? A long and caring friend. Brian Pickett, friend, supporter, and community leader. And a mortician. He's the last person to let you down. I've always believed that public service is about lifting up others, and I hope that I have lived the kind of a life that has helped a lot of people, young people, to grow tall and straight. As it was indicated, I'm from Alton, Illinois, a little town across from St. Louis. Moved to Chicago, to the north side of the city of Chicago, in a predominantly Italian neighborhood. We had to be able to capisce Italiano, eat the linguine with the calamari sauce, the babalucci, the pieces of Italiano. If you didn't do those things, if you couldn't speak the language, you were in trouble. And so they taught me a lot about life. And as it turned out, I ended up being a halfway decent person. I hope it inspires them to strive for excellence and to give back to someone in their community. I'm talking about the tumblers. And I want every young person who faces adversity to know that hard work, determination, and support of community, of their caring community, anything is possible. When I played baseball in the Chicago Cub organization, Ron Santo, when he retired with number 10. And he said that that number 10 was his Hall of Fame. Today, I can proudly say that this honor has given me my Hall of Fame, and I will cherish it always. I want to thank you very much from the bottom of my heart for joining with me today, and being a part of my administration, being a part of the things that I'm involved with within the community. And of course, a fellow by the name of Justice Abraham Lincoln Marovitz invited me to his chamber. And while I was there, he said, I know that you're looking at all my memorabilia, but I want you to leave here with one thing in mind. Remember, do something good for someone every day. That's how I run my life, and I hope that that will be a part of yours as well. So thank you very much for joining with me today. Thank you for giving, thank you for caring, and thank you for making a difference.
Well, I'm an old Southern Baptist, so all that needs to be said has been said. We thank you for joining us. Please, there's some refreshments in the back. Again, we have our marching orders. Do something good for someone every day. Thank you, Mr. White, and enjoy the Jesse White State of Illinois building.